Hello everyone, I just want to share with you 5 quick tips with the Yuushya Mod. This might help you in your builds. So in this chest I have the Gourd, the GUI tool, which is the 2 most important tools in the world, and then a bunch of assets like quartz slabs and some slab templates. So here there's 3 slab templates. I'm just going to turn them into a blue one. I'll stick that on my bar and I'll choose a bunch of other different colours. Maybe I'll choose this one here, this green one. Doesn't really matter, but I want to show you how to group different things inside one entity block. So this could be useful for making a sign. I'm just going to put some quartz down like that, and then I can start playing around with this slab. So I want to put the pink one, the green one, and the blue one together, but they don't really work, look. That's no good. So you've got to turn the pink one into an entity, and grab the green one in your offhand, go in with the GUI tool, and you can add a block state. Then just lift it up about halfway, look. That looks good. I'll destroy that one, and I'll take the blue one in my offhand, put another block state, which is the blue one, and then just shift that up to 16. Now I've got 3 of those slabs in one block. If I want to build it up a little bit, I can put in a couple of slabs like that, look, and then just remove the other one. This would be good for a sign, wouldn't it? Now what you can do is have a look at it. You can see those 3 block states, that's good. Ctrl+Middle click selects the entire entity block. Now over here I can show you how it works. I want to try and do it again. So I'll put in a quartz block, and then I can stick in the entity blocks in like that. If you want to have spaces, obviously you're going to have to put in a few slabs again, like I showed you. So you can stick in a slab like that in the middle. This would be really useful for making a sign. If you want to bring it across like that, you can. You can put in some quartz slabs as well as a divider, and then maybe change that one to a block of quartz. Maybe have 2 blocks of quartz there by removing that slab. This looks pretty good, doesn't it, for a shop sign? If you want to make it a bit thicker, you can. That's my first tip, how to put different entity blocks together, and you can seal it off like this with some slabs and then some quartz blocks at the top if you want to make a shop sign. That's a very simple, quick and easy tip to do. It's very useful to put in different things within the entity blocks. You can even put in wires. Let's head over to tip number 2. This is tapping into the power of Ctrl+Middle click. In the chest, there's a bunch of different stuff and the trusty tools, but I don't need them. First, I have a TV. So I want to build a wall. Actually, I forgot to build the wall. So let's grab these sandstone bits, put them in. They do look really good. And I'm just going to stick the TV in the wall, look like that. Or on the wall, should I say. Now, what I need to do is use the Gourd, turn it into an entity. You can actually change the form. Let's change the channel, that'll do. Make a massive TV so it fits the entire wall like that. Bring it down a little bit, and I've got myself a really big TV. What I could do, I'm just going to move that one, is Ctrl+Middle click it, and now I've got this entity block. I can stick it on the wall here. Obviously, it's the wrong way round, so I need to rotate it. Rotate it with the Y-axis, and then bring it forward with the Z-axis here. Ooh, a little bit further forward. Oh, it's clipping. There we go. It's clipping a little bit. But I've copied it with the Ctrl+Middle click command, and it's copied very effectively. I'm happy with that. So now I can show you again. I can actually build another wall here. I just want to put these ones in and show you real quick. Building a real simple wall like that. Looks beautiful. And I can just stick in that TV again. I don't need to do the entire process. I can just use that TV. That's the TV, so let's choose something else. This vending machine. Let's put the vending machine in. Turn it into an entity. It disappears and goes wrong. I don't even know why. Got to try and find it with the GUI tool. I think it's in the middle, like floating in the air. Yeah, there it is. Be careful to select it. Now what you can do here is scale it down a little bit to make a teeny tiny little gachapon machine that just sits on the floor like that. And I can rotate it. Okay, so it's in the middle there. That's a bit wrong. Ctrl+Middle click the entity block there, and I can stick it in the ground. Whoops. Like I said, the other entity was a little bit higher, so this one I just raise it up a little bit. Ctrl+Middle click that one again, and I've got these little tiny gachapon machines, and I don't have to do the entire process all over again. It's really good to do. You can do the same thing with the AC units. So I'm just going to remove that TV, put the AC unit in, go in with the GUI tool, and then you can change the form, maybe shift it across a little bit like that. Ctrl+Middle click it, and you can have all these AC units looking the same. If I want to put it there, obviously I've got to rotate it, but this is still a good tip because it saves you time. Before, I would change all of the entities individually, and I would copy it and paste it and do all that, and it takes too long. The AC units look great. So let's move on to a little bit more. I want to show you this composter. You can put the composter in like that. Maybe you can turn it into an entity, which I'm going to show you in a second. I don't need to do that for now. I'm just going to change that up a little bit, put the composter in, change the grass into an entity, the wheat, and then you could shift it down. That's really cool. But what you could do to save a little bit of time is turn the composter into an entity, put the grown wheat in your hand, go in with the GUI tool to that entity, and then just stick the wheat in like that. Look, you can rotate it a little bit, Ctrl+Middle click, and now I've got all these little composters filled with wheat, and I can just stick those on my farm or anywhere I want them. Saves a lot of time doing this, I'm telling you. Okay, so one more. Let's put the oak sprouts up. First, it's in the ceiling, which is a bit weird. So turn it into an entity, then bring it down. Maybe rotate it a bit so it looks natural. Ctrl+Middle click, I've got that entity, so I can stick it anywhere. And it looks the same. I don't have to go in with the GUI tool all the time to rotate it. I would there, but if I put that one in, it's done. This is the second tip, and it's very good for saving time. You can copy the entity as it is and paste it all over your world. So let's head over to tip number 3. Using the wrench. I've actually covered this in a previous tips video, but I want to expand on it a little bit. So here I'm going to put the wrench as in slot number 3 at the end there with the Gourd and the GUI tool. So here there's a bunch of stuff that you can use the wrench on to change the form, which is pretty cool. You could do the same there. I didn't even know that I had flowers actually. You can change the books here. I thought it would close the door, but it doesn't. If you use the green Gourd and then the GUI tool, you can change the form in it, but sometimes you don't have to. You can just literally right-click with the wrench. Again, you can do it with the green Gourd and the GUI tool, but you don't have to. You can just use the wrench. Look at that block. I don't know what you could use it for, but you could certainly build something. This fridge you cannot use the wrench on, but this one you can open it. Looks a bit blocky and weird in there. A little bit strange glitch. You can't click it actually on the door. You have to go to the side and click it. But that's pretty cool. I like that. The wrench is a very handy tool. Here is some water. You can't use it on the machine, but you can use it on the bottle, which just spins it around. I actually go in with the GUI tool and rotate it like that, but you really don't have to. When you've done it though, you can't use the wrench. If it's an entity, you can't wrench it. You can wrench these up here as well. If you use the wrench on the tiles, it adds this little rain gutter. It's pretty cool and you don't have to turn everything into entities. The rain gutter hides the fact that the tiles are floating in the air, so it's quite helpful. You can wrench a bunch of different paintings and even the laptop and computer. You can turn it onto Facebook. That's pretty cool. You can again do it with the GUI tool if you want to, but the wrench is very useful. These bits here, I'll just have a look at the lights real quick. You can wrench this and it removes the bracket. That's pretty handy, but I like the line on the pole. But here you can wrench it and it sticks it on the ceiling. Look, that's pretty good. I like that. I didn't even know you could do that with the street light. Now what you could do is go in with the GUI tool. You've got to turn it into an entity first, change it to form 1, and then just shift it up a little bit so it's in the ceiling. I might use that in my builds. That looks like a nice little porch light. Sometimes the wrench is very handy on the road markings too. If you turn it into an entity and then change the form, it's good, but now you clip through the entity, which is a slight problem with the Yuushya mod. That's something to bear in mind. So stay with the wrench when you're doing road markings. You can even do it on the white ones too, nice and thick. It looks very good. The old TV also has a wrenchable form. Like, comment and subscribe. There we go. This little work light you can wrench. I don't know why you do that. It's like hanging in the air. So what you could do is just add a little block. Doesn't really attach to that. Turn it into an entity and then just stick it next to the block like that. And then maybe turn the brightness up for nighttime. That's cool. I didn't know that had a form. The bed also has a form. Don't know why it's not working there. Look, it's clipping. There we go. A little baby's crib. That could be handy if you're building some kind of baby room. You can turn a fan on and off, put trash in the bin, maybe open the lid for the trash can and change the bird thing, the mailbox, bird box, whatever it is, to a white one. These are really cool and you can put some letters in. Change these forms. These don't work. You can't change the form of the post-it notes. I don't know why. It's a bit glitchy. If you go in and change the form here, still doesn't work. Bit weird. I don't really care about that anyway, so like a minor thing. The Yuushya mod is still massively powerful. So around the back here is a new mailbox or a newspaper box, and you can change that to be slightly bigger. Okay, so that's tip number 3, how to change things with the wrench. There's also a little table that you can fold like that. So let's put the table here, fold it with the wrench, and it sits nicely on the wall. Yeah, I almost forgot. There's a bunch of other stuff like these posters, which I got out of the chest, and you can change those forms. That's pretty cool. Again, you don't have to make everything entities. It just saves a bit of time. These new speakers are quite interesting, so let's get those. A little cherry one, put 2 of them in. Yeah, turn those. Whoa, what happened there? You can wrench them, but the third form is a pink and black box. I don't want that. Okay, let's use this large speaker, see if it does it here. Wrench, it's got a nice frame, but then, whoa, I don't like. The second form's good, but the third one's atrocious. Okay, so there's one more. This little board template could be useful on the side of a shop. See how it hangs out like that? It's pretty cool. You can put maps on it. If you wrench them, they float. Nah, that's not as good as I thought it would have been. Anyway, you could just wrench them like that. Maybe turn them into entities, change the form, yeah, get rid of it, and then shift it in so it touches the wall like that. Okay, cool. Ctrl+Middle click. Get rid of that one and then just stick it in. Yeah, that's cool. We can have a little billboard or something there. I like that. It's very neat. Yeah, so that's tip number 3 complete. Let's just destroy all the items and head over to tip number 4. Making ramps. Let's just pop into my chest. This is very fast. I'm just organizing it a little bit so it's nice and neat. I like to have the ramps and the markings set up as 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in that order. So there's a bunch of stuff here on the asphalt I want to show you. But first, let's go over and deal with the ramps. I just want to find a place to build them. Well, there's some asphalt over there that I've left for a reason. If you want to build a ramp, you need to use 1, then 2, then 3. Okay, but it doesn't link up very neatly, does it? That's rubbish. So let's put the ramp in as it should be. So let's start over here with 5. Okay, well, I need ramp 1, then 2, then 3, 4. I can't use 4, so what I need to do here is grab some asphalt and then stick on 4 and 5. Great. Okay, yeah, that's how you do a ramp. But let's say I don't want it this high. I want it to go just 1, because there's like one bit of road there. What do? Well, there is a way of doing this. So what you need to do is get ramp number 3. Okay, so you need to put it in, third one in, and bury it like that. Then you can put 4 and 5, and it links up neatly with the road there, look. And then just do the same again, 3, then 4, and then number 5. And it links up nicely like that. You could do the same on the other side if you want to. Put 3 in the ground, 4 slightly above, and 5 so it links with the rest of it. There's a strange black mark there, but you could probably fix that with a fence. That's tip 4. So now let's look at tip number 5. This is like a double whammy of tips. You can use this template, which is a half slab, to get some stone as a little pavement or sidewalk, as you Yanks like to call it. So let's stick in the sidewalk like that. Whoops, I made a slab. There we go, and you can walk on that. It looks really good. A little bit raised as well, I like that. If I go into third person view, you usually float on my world, I don't know why. It doesn't float, that's good, isn't it? Little sidewalk tip. That's a bonus. And while we're on the sidewalk, if you need to access that with cars, let's say, in your imaginary world, you can make a little half slab, and I want to choose this one. It doesn't really matter which one. Let me see. Yeah, that'll do. Mossy bricks, why not? Stick them in the ground, turn them into entities, go in with the GUI tool, and then rotate it a bit and bring it into the ground. That's great. Yeah, I like that. Stick it about there. Now, with Ctrl+Middle click, you can copy it and have a bunch of ramps so you can get up to that little pavement bit. That's a nice little tip. So, tip number 6, which is like a bonus, is dealing with ramp markings. I don't actually need all 5 of those, but I'll take this little triangle one, which is like a chevron, stick it in the ground. It's cool, it's like a little arrow. But if I put one here, I've got a diamond in the ground. That's pretty cool. I didn't realize you could do that. You could have those arrows, but you could also have a little diamond. I think that's a fancy decoration for the ground. Now, let's go over here. Just let's check. I need to take the markings, put them in the ground. If you want to have road markings, you can put them in like this. No problem. That looks great, doesn't it? Not a problem at all. But what if I want to have a road marking on there? There isn't a slab for that, so what you need to do is take a ramp marking number 3, I would suggest. Maybe 4 or 5. 3 is good because you can already see it. Turn it into an entity and then rotate it a little bit on the Z-axis so it's lying flat. And then maybe bring it down into the ground a little bit. Okay, cool. Ctrl+Middle click that one there, and you can use that on a different material if you want to. It's a little tip I found out. You can do the exact same thing with white road markings too. So I'll take number 3 because I think that's the best one to use. Stick it in the ground so you can see it, turn it into an entity, rotate it round, and then rotate it on the Z-axis so it's flat, and then bring it down a little bit so it's touching the ground. You don't want it floating. That's good. Move it across so it's like on the block. Then you can Ctrl+Middle click that, and you can use it on different materials should you want to. I think that's a great little tip. So that concludes my little tip video. If you've liked it, subscribe, and maybe send me a comment. I'm Ixical, and I'll see you next time.